Good evening. Welcome to the program. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the looming African Cup of Nations, which is going to be held in Morocco in December. I'm Guthrie Munyuki. Tonight on the program, we have the ZIFA president, Mr. Nqobile Magwizi, to discuss this and other issues relating to the state of national football. Mr. Magwizi, good evening.
Good evening, Guthrie. Very happy to be here, and thank you so much for making this possible.
You look sprightly, and this thing contradicts the pressure. I'm sure that comes with your office, and particularly with the expectation that the Warriors will do well in Morocco.
Well, we definitely hope to do very well, better than we've done before. But I think what's important is giving it our best effort as a nation. It's not only about the president, but also the EXCO, who are working tirelessly to make sure that our football continues to move forward. Our members of the assembly, who are in the different provinces and the different regions, who are working to make sure that we continue to see football happening at all levels of our society. And of course, the players themselves, who are tirelessly training to make sure that they perform. We indeed are looking forward to a very successful trip to Morocco come December. But critically, I think it's about our preparation and making sure that we've done everything possible to give the best results. I think that's what's important. I think every Zimbabwean should feel that the national team has given a good fight. And we desire to go beyond where we've been before. And of course, that will be a hallmark of success if we should achieve that. So we are very motivated. I think the team is motivated, the coach is motivated, and even the secretariat is motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So everyone is motivated.
Absolutely.
But the biggest question is, how well are we going to finance this, and how well are our finances? Because they need to be in a healthy state. What does it take for ZIFA to have the Warriors have a better AFCON campaign than all the previous ones?
Yeah, that's a very important question. So ZIFA is a going concern. It is a going concern. It's a functional institution. It's never been better than it's been before, and we're obviously getting stronger and stronger. Critically for my presidency and of course for the executive committee is to make sure that we put policies in place that will govern sustained success into the future, even beyond this term, even after we have gone, but to ensure that we have this institution that is able to sustain itself going forward. We've been in office for 7 months, and there's been fundamental matters that we've been trying to address to ensure that we have clear policies, which is, of course, our responsibility as an EXCO, to put in place the correct policies and to set the correct standards and framework of governing the association. In terms of the funds, I think it's a process of funds flowing through. As I've said here before, we get funding from FIFA. So after you publish release your financial financial accounts, then they can start releasing the funds. Before that, we're under restricted funding, so we had not received any funding. So funds have started to come in, of course, not as fast as we'd want them, but according to the framework that's already been set by FIFA, we've begun to get some funding to address most of our critical issues. What is key for you to note is that when FIFA funds, they tell you the specific matters that fund is supposed to be used for. This is why they then audit to make sure that the money was not used for the wrong purposes. So you can receive money which could be FIFA Forward. That FIFA Forward fund will have to go to a specific forward project. For instance, you may say to FIFA, we are building a soccer pitch. If they approve it as such, you must then be seen to have built actually a pitch. They must There must be an auditor to demonstrate, and an actual physical pitch that has been built as a consequence of that funding. So, as a going concern, we are not in a financial position which we would want to be. Our financial position could be better. Of course, how do we get funded? As I've said, FIFA does a bit of funding. We have CAF that also funds us. But of course, most FAs are funded either by government and partners and sponsors. Those are the ones that come on board and ensure that all the other programs and the needs that the FA may have are completely fulfilled as a consequence of the additional funding that is coming. So are we there yet where I can say we have enough sponsors that are funding, we have enough government funding, we have enough funds that have come from FIFA? We are not yet there. But we are in the process. We are in the process of having conversations with all the key regulatory authorities such as FIFA and CAF. We are conversing with our government, the Ministry of Sport. We are conversing, of course, with the various sponsors, potential sponsors, to come on board. Just this particular tournament, this FIFA qualifier program that we have, the 4 matches that are left for until the end of the year, we have inbox who have come in to sponsor the kit. So we are having continuous conversations with our partners, and we are more than motivated to make sure that by the end of the year we have signed on board more partners, we have more participation of the government. And the beauty as well is the government is very responsive. $1 million was already put aside for AFCON. So we are in that place where we are really moving forward. We can see the progress that is being made. We can see the positiveness that is coming from all the stakeholders. But it's just a matter of time until we really get to a place where we can say, oh, we're a bit comfortable now. We can afford the certain luxuries that other FAs do enjoy.
Mm-hmm. So, for the avoidance of doubt,
yes,
the Warriors are not going to have a disrupted campaign for lack of funds.
That is a key question. We are going to ensure that we are not going to have a disrupted AFCON tournament, because we are already speaking to the key stakeholders. And I can tell you right now, the government has been very supportive. They are part of this journey. A committee has already been set up, the AFCON committee, that is being led by my Vice President, Kenneth Nqobile. They have already been meeting. We have representatives from SRC, representatives from the Ministry of Sport, representatives from Ministry of Tourism. We have already come together and we have already started this journey of preparing for December 2025 to ensure come the 19th when AFCON kicks off, we are ready. All the resources that are required to motivate our boys are there, and our boys are going into this tournament with their head held up high, knowing fully well that they have the full support of the country.
Mm-hmm. I think just touch on this briefly. Historically, we have had successive ZIFA leadership being plagued by a lot of issues, chief among them maladministration. But obviously, I would want you to speak without having to worry about the time. So we'll go to the break. When we come back, we'll deal with that question. Okay. Please join us in the second segment as we continue our discussion tonight with the ZIFA President, Mr. Nqobile Magwizi. Welcome back. If you're just joining us tonight on the program, we have the ZIFA President, Mr. Nqobile Magwizi, and we are discussing the preparations for the upcoming AFCON tournament to be held in Morocco. Mr. Magwizi, before we went for the break, I had to cut you short because I thought we could discuss this question without having to worry about the limitations of time. I've said that there have been successive ZIFA leaders, and they've found that their administration, they've been actually plagued by a lot of issues, but chief among them, the issues of maladministration, which ultimately led to sponsors staying away. 7 months in the office rather than 7 years. Maybe we should receive that. 7
months into the office, yes.
7 months into the office.
Yes.
We have seen some modicum of stability and, constructive, really, engagements since you took office. Are you in a position to say that football is in safe hands? And for those who would want to compare you when you've just spent 7 months with the previous administrations are really unfair?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think football is definitely in safe hands, and I think the future is bright for football in Zimbabwe. A lot of stakeholders are in deep discussions with myself and with the EXCO in respect of what the future of Zimbabwe holds. I think I will speak to a number of programs that are lined up. So, to answer you quickly, football is definitely in safe hands. Zimbabwe is never going to be the same, football-wise, going into the future, because we have built the correct foundation that will ensure that there is guaranteed success. We are in the process of making sure that Zimbabwe will be a powerhouse, football-wise. Now, I want, of course, to recognize the fact that even the previous leadership of ZIFA, there are a lot of positive things that they were doing. A lot of positive. And my predecessors may have been unfortunate that maybe the media sometimes was not as kind, but there's a lot of good things that I've learned from their experiences. And a lot of my predecessors were kind enough, are still kind enough to give me audience in respect of areas where they believe I should pay more attention to, areas where I should be more alert to ensure that I don't fall into the same mistakes as they've done before. So I'm very grateful. I mean, you think of my predecessor, Kamambo. I mean, he's been gracious enough. I mean, we've had a chat, and he's given me highlights of areas where I need to be alert. My predecessor, Nqobile, he was previous president of ZIFA. He's also given me some highlights of things that I should look out for.
Nqobile, that is.
Nqobile, yes. And Karel Ju, yeah, he also has done the same. So all of those men, they have done a bit in building the game. For me to come and be here today is because there's a history. And that history is also very important. And they've been gracious enough to also point certain things. There. Even Komafiu Chiangwa has been gracious enough to say, Magwizi, there's a pitfall. I made a mistake here. You must correct here. You must. So all those people are there to give assistance to make sure that our football, even as we go into the future, is going to be strong. Mm-hmm. So the foundation is strong, and it must be continue to be strengthened. And beyond this, we will start seeing the flowers budding, because when a tree is growing, it starts with the roots. When you see the flowers now blooming, it means the roots are stable. And that's where we have been focusing over the past 7 months, to make sure that our grounding is solid, and as we go forward, it's not a false start. We are going forward with assured success.
Sure. Assured success.
Yes.
You are going forward. So you're changing at the bit. You believe that things will be well, and things are going to be well.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no need to doubt. I mean, obviously, remember, football is a number of stakeholders. And as a leadership of football, we respect every stakeholder. We respect. And I actually encourage people to share their views. What is important is for all Zimbabweans to be progressive and constructive. I think it's important. But in any case, we cannot guarantee or ask people to behave in a specific way. But the feedback is always important. But what we can guarantee as the new leadership is that definitely football is in safe hands, and Zimbabwe is growing from strength to strength, football-wise.
Okay. We've got the upcoming COSAFA under-17 tournament that we're going to be hosting.
Yes.
Would you want to tell us
that's
a lot that you're doing about that?
Oh, exciting times. Of course, when we came on board, I think we had very little time to start the preparations. And of course, there have been staffing changes within the secretariat. Of course, all that impacts on how the whole program is then laid out. But I'm happy to say, right now we have the boys in camp. They've been in camp since Sunday, week before last, and they're training well. The coaches, they've now come up with a top 25 of the boys. They started off initially in camp with 48 boys, and they've been cutting down. Now they're at 25. And the boys look strong when I went to see them a day ago. Look strong, motivated, ready to go. Now, our belief is that we should do well in this tournament. Yeah, we're being hosted at Ayada and at Ngoni Stadium. Once we do well in this tournament, we then go to the AFCON tournament. And we believe we can also do well there. Once we do well there, our target is to get to the World Cup for the under-17. As you may be aware, every year until 2030, we're going to be having the World Cup for under-17s. And we want to be part of that journey because we want to prepare ourselves as a country that as we go into the future, that success which I was talking about is actually guaranteed. So we have made sure that the team preparations are good, and the minister and the deputy minister of sport have been gracious as well. They've been very supportive. They've been to the camp to see our boys. In terms of the logistics, there have been enough support from Home Affairs. We've had support even from Ministry of Tourism to just make sure even these 12 countries which are coming to Zimbabwe, they're well hosted. You know, we have our partners in the hospitality industry that are making sure that these teams, as they land in Zimbabwe or as they drive into Zimbabwe, they're well catered for.
Sure.
Yes.
All right. We'll discuss more about the COSAFA preps,
Yes.
and of course what the local fans should look forward to in the final segment. Please join us in the final segment when we bring to a close this week's program, where we have been in discussion with the ZIFA president, Mr. Nqobile Magwizi. Welcome back to those who are just joining us in this final segment. We have been in discussion with the ZIFA president, Mr. Nqobile Magwizi, where we were discussing the preps for the AFCON 2025, which is going to be held in Morocco in December. And of course, the upcoming COSAFA Under-17 tournament, which we are hosting here in Zimbabwe. Mr. Magwizi, you spoke about the good preps for the under-17 team, and you also spoke about the desire to make sure that we are at the World Cup.
Yes.
Focus should shift to AFCON and the World Cup after the COSAFA. That is in the under-2017 tournaments. There's one thing that people would want to understand.
Yes.
Most of the senior men's soccer teams have been made up of players either that are selected from the local clubs or lately from the diaspora. Do we have the same policy for our junior teams where we look beyond Zimbabwe in terms of team selection?
So our vision and our mission as ZIFA speak to the fact that every Zimbabwean must be given a chance. Every Zimbabwean, whether they are local or they are abroad. Now, of course, those who are local stand a better chance because they are closer to the administration. But we are putting in place a system that will ensure that every talented Zimbabwean is given a fair chance. I think that's what every Zimbabwean desires to see. When we were doing the scouting for the under-17 team, and I believe this is probably the last year we are doing a process like we have done, where we are going around to try and set up a team. Going forward, on an ongoing basis, we are going to be having provincial teams at the various age groups that are being coached by a non-coach at the head office, at the at provincial level. And at national level, we also would want to do the same. So 2025, of course, being our first year, we were putting these structures in place. And of course, we may have missed one or two good players. It's possible. But as we go forward, the process of recruiting the best of Zimbabweans who represent us at whatever age group is going to be refined. And we are hoping to see a situation where we have provincial tournaments, province against province, at under 17 level, at under 15 level, at under 13 level, perhaps even at under 11 level. And each province, out of those engagements where provinces are playing together, we can then choose the best that represents Zimbabwe. And possibly we can also treat a region like England as a province, an additional province, where when we are running these tournaments, we can bring in the teams from England that represent those Zimbabweans who are in the diaspora, say in England. They can come and as a team and participate in that tournament. We can bring in youngsters that are coming from South Africa as a what? As a province in diaspora to participate. And we can set up strong teams at every age group. These teams is where we will then choose our cream that will represent Zimbabwe. And this will be on an ongoing basis. Provinces are not going to be scouting whenever we're calling for representation. No. We will have standing teams that are already, on an ongoing basis, changing and moving into better teams on a daily basis as they train in their province.
Sure. One of the things that has actually been noticed, internationally, when you look at the African football teams,
yes,
has been the issue of age cheating. And we are no saints in this as Southern Africans and including Zimbabweans. So what sort of safeguards have you put in place to make sure that as you bring in a new system that speaks to the right age groups, we will not have an ointment, a fly in the ointment in the form of somebody who wants to cheat?
Interestingly, so COSAFA has done very well if you are going to look at the various zonal zones across the world. I mean, we have COSAFA, we have SECAFA, we have Conan Ball, and all those. COSAFA has done very well because we have introduced MRI scans which determine the true age, scientific way to determine somebody's age. So even for this particular COSAFA, our boys have already gone through the process. I think 3 of our boys were unfortunate because they were almost turning 17. So when they were scanned, the age that came out spoke to the fact that maybe they're already closer to 17, which may be misconstrued as above 17. Yeah, so they were very unfortunate, and it was painful for us to see them go. But we have a scientific way to check the age, and we've been also as a federation very strict with that. So we want to make sure that as we go forward, we are using the correct standards, our processes and our procedures, ensure that there's no embarrassment into the future. So that used to happen in the past. But as we go forward, this is the situation where we will definitely be using science to ensure that we guarantee that we have correct representation. And the beauty of science is that it's always accurate. Even for processes of ensuring who gets a jersey in a team, even for next year, we are looking to a situation whereby we can use trackers to be able to see which player is performing better. Yeah, science is one way where we can avoid a lot of the arguments that take place. I don't know if you read the article I wrote last week, which spoke to that fact. Say science is going to help us as we go into the future. It will allow us to get the best of ourselves representing us and ensuring that there is no issues where someone will say, oh, but I was left out. There's this thing happening. It will cut out on issues of corruption.
Sure. So one of the areas, quickly, that people have detected as having a defective system and process, the issue of the issuance or issuing of birth certificates. So are you working with the National Registry to make sure that birth certificates that are issued, they actually have the correct dates at the correct years where somebody was born?
Absolutely. We work with the authorities, Home Affairs, we work with them closely. And they've been very kind in processing, especially when there is a talented child who needs to participate. They've been gracious. So we will be working with them closely to make sure that the processes for ZIFA, they are flawless. So that's what we're looking at. So we are very happy with the support that we get in all those areas. Yes.
Flawless is the key word.
Absolutely. I
So,
think
Mr. Magwizi, I'd like to thank you for having made time to be with us. But flawless
yes.
caught my attention. So, as we get into the COSAFA Under-17 tournament, we expect a flawless Under-17, a sleek Under-17 team.
Yes, absolutely. We're expecting a flawless Under-17 team. But more importantly also, tomorrow the boys, the senior team, is playing.
Yeah.
In Ivory Coast. They're playing Benin.
And
the morale in the camp is high. The boys are looking forward to give the good showing there. We definitely want to win that match. It's important that we win it. If we don't win it...
And respect the tournament too.
Yes. So it's important that we do that. And we are very, of course... I'm grateful to the boys, the coach, and the team that's already out there in Ivory Coast. They're doing a fantastic job. Doing a fantastic job. And of course, I would like to encourage some of the players who have not made it yet. That I think the coach will make sure that they identify, they give them more chances to participate as well. You know, as the executive, we don't participate in secretariat issues or we don't participate in the choosing of players. But what we do is give a policy framework and give the necessary support to make sure that the best footballers amongst Zimbabweans represent us and we do well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, he has spoken of flawless. He's spoken of football being in safe hands. But all we can say here on this program, and of course you at home would hope that they'll have the rub of the green. If you play golf, you know what I mean. Good night.